everybody. Welcome to Studio 11 LA. Isn't that a beautiful profile of Gene O'Neill, our stage manager? It's all right, Gene, you don't have to step out. It's 4:58. I am Jeff Michael. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's get started. And off camera, I'm actually watching Dr. Sandra Lee get ready to show you scabies. Oh, she's not ready yet there, but she will be. Okay. Liz, I don't know quite how to introduce this, so I'm going to let you do that.
Okay, I will. I totally saw it in his face. And
Did
he
you?
looks like his sister. They look a lot alike. Stella McCartney, right? Yeah, we know Stella McCartney. We like those handbags. Okay, dry weather, lots of itchy skin out there, but as a couple from Upland found out, sometimes rashes are caused by something a lot more sinister than the weather. This couple in the world. Uh-huh. Yeah. We were going to go to a couple, and they were going to show you. There we go.
So we're going to scrub. See that a little bit? Then I put a nice skin there.
Be afraid of this one. It's miserable.
I had the scabies. I understood it was a mite. I saw pictures of it.
Scabies mites cause an agonizing rash. David Hunter caught it from his hospitalized brother-in-law.
He went to a hospital. He happened to sit in a chair that his brother-in-law would eat lunch, and this is how he contracted it.
Wife Nancy did his laundry.
That's how I got it, weeks after he had it.
They won't really complain about it on their hands, but that's where we look for it. We look for the scabies mite. They burrow right under the skin, a little line, and then you'll see a tiny little black dot where the scabies mite is, and that's where they actually plant their eggs.
Oh my gosh, if you're like me,
Yes.
you itch just looking.
It's true. When you see people, you wash your hands a little bit and you kind of think about the itch. So it is. But you know, it's really common, and what I really want to drive home there is that you're not destitute, you're not homeless.
It sounds like something from 1930 in the Great Depression.
It's been around for 2,500 years, and it's still there, and you can contract them. And what you need to do is really try to avoid long-term health care facilities. Just obviously,
convalescence homes.
If you have family members there, you want to visit them, but make sure that no one there has it.
Dr. Sandra Lee, by the way,
this is actually very interesting.
What'd you bring me?
You never get this opportunity. I mean, this is actually, I saw a patient yesterday with scabies, and I was able to isolate like 3 of their mites. Now, they're really small, and they're not like fleas. They don't jump. They don't jump, and they don't, scurry like a cockroach, but they are very cool. And you just have to get really close. But I just want to warn you, they are contagious, and so you whatever you do, don't touch them. Just don't touch them, okay? They're really kind of cute.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my God!
I totally don't believe. I knew they're poppy seeds. You know, I grew up with a grandmother who cooked poppy
I
seeds.
couldn't trick you guys. And why wouldn't Jeff Michael come in here?
Because I know
you know?
She would never bring something like that in to affect us like this.
I was going to tell you.
How do you
could
get
bite
rid of them? Genes itching. How do you get rid of them if you have them?
You have to use a medication. I mean, there's a prescription medication called Elamite, and you put it on from the neck to the toes in all the nooks and crannies, because that's where it likes to hide.
You rub yourself with lotion.
You rub yourself with lotion, that's right. They rub the lotion on their skin, and then 8 to 10 hours later, you wash it off, and you have to do it again in a week because the eggs hatch, and you have new mites. And now, interestingly...
Like lice.
Well, yeah, but they live on your body, and the reason that you itch is because of their feces. Actually, you are allergic to their poop. So that's the interesting... This is not scabies.
But that couple was darling, a very normal, regular, darling couple. So it's anywhere, like you said, anywhere.
It is, and so you just have to be careful and be aware, like I said. Just make sure when you're going to certain areas, like the hospital, like a convalescent home, that you inquire first.
And there's lots of people out there with dry skin right now. I have terribly dry. I drank a gallon of water the other day and my skin's still dry. So people are probably going to start calling you right away about this.
Well, we see it all the time. I mean, we see this all the time, and it's really hard to get a mite too, because there's really not that many on the person's body, and you have to scrape at their skin. And we usually look right here in the wrist or right here in the finger web spaces, and we scratch at them because you can see a little burrow. They're hiding right under the skin, and they plant their eggs there. You can treat them with topicals. Like I said, there's even an oral medication we use that is actually used to treat like worms, like
Thank you, Sandra, for that.
Isn't that
absolutely.
fun?
You know what?
Isn't my job fun?
I guess after all, we are animals, right? We do attract insects.
Some of us more than others,
Jeff especially.
I was so ready to tell Habib that she was wrong and I was right. She never believed that Sandra brought those in, and I bought it. I
didn't
totally
believe it
bought
because I know you. You are not going to bring something like that into our station.
And I was like that.
I want to thank producer Chris for I would have probably jumped.
Would have been gullible.
Hey, but really, after talking about all of this, doesn't it really make you want to eat? Makes me want to eat. Coming up, we actually have a pretty tasty concept, at least for a food truck, and luckily it's parked on our plaza. But first, want to get away from it all? Isn't that somebody else's line? Danielle Robb, host of the show A Place in the Sun.
Okay.
shows us where we can go.
Sandra said you could have played along, Liz.
I know.
You didn't have to do that.
She just stood there as I flung them at her.
I know, you really never believed it.
She didn't believe, and I thought,
I know. Come on, you know me well.
I know, I totally
he asked
what you
for
were
a
gonna say.
microscopic lens so that the camera could get in close and catch them.
Let me see.
Yeah, I was
Ooh,
going
those
to tell
scabies
you.
taste good.
that
You know,
you
if
had
you
to
eat
bite
poppy
them.
seeds.